So Don, when you were collecting all these, did you ever think that one day we'd all be standing here going through it?
No, and you
Like
know,
it was gold?
no, except for that 148, for years I didn't start it, you know.
Really?
Well, working all these local remotes, like working Wrigley Field, he doesn't need anything, he just,
Well, that's you just walked in. I
Yep.
suppose you just said to somebody, or they knew that you were there.
an armband we used to wear, it said WNR TV, it's in there somewhere, but and for boxing and wrestling, we didn't have passes for that because you worked it every week, you know.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can get as many as this as we can. They're recognizable.
There's a season pass. Everybody in Bridgeport used that. That's what we wore first in 1949 doing Cubs baseball, our armband. I'm pretty lucky I had number 12. But now, another campaign, McCarthy for president. I don't know what year that was, but 1968 probably. Oh, here we are. We did a ski jump at the Norgay Ski Club up in Fox River Grove. As usual, I was up in the tower with the skiers, and there's a picture of Phil Carlson. I think that's Phil, isn't it? Yeah.
It looks like him, yeah.
Yeah, that's Phil. And here's our mobile unit. It's up on the top of the hill, but it didn't get there by itself. We had to be towed up with a bulldozer. This must have been the inauguration of Richie M. Daly,
Yeah.
1991. Here's a pit pass for the Indy 500. It's very interesting working on the pits. They come in for their pit stops.
But when you said working the pits, you were in there filming where?
With a camera.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So you were actually in the pit itself?
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's very loud there and very smelly of
So you didn't get to see
gasoline.
much of the race then if you're working
No.
the pits?
NCAA regional football games, some of them 3-camera shows. Well, this is in Sarajevo at the Olympics, Winter Olympics in Sarajevo.
Here's Igamar Johansson and Floyd Patterson.
Right. Private showing there.
Private showing.
Yeah. This is a golf tournament in Akron, Ohio, where I'm on the 225-foot crane above the Firestone Country Club, and the local paper did an article about it. Oh, here's the Sweet 16. We did the Sweet 16.
Oh, that was a
from
big one.
1952 to 64. That was our big remote of the year. Here's the St. Paul Winter Carnival. I worked at for Wide World of Sports. We're on Lake Como that day. The high was 15 below zero.
Remember they put you on the mountain too?
Well, that was in Lake Placid later, 1980. Here's the Democratic Convention. Yeah, it'd be 1968. Democratic Convention at the amphitheater. That's the last convention we ever worked at the amphitheater. That's after the riots.
Yeah.
That's when the riots started.
Actually, I worked in Miami in '68, and there were riots down there too
Right.
at the Republican convention,
Yeah.
and people were killed, and it's never been mentioned.
I was down there. I didn't see it, right?
I was with Ray Osterman. I
Okay.
was in a,
I was
yeah.
on a remote truck, and Bull Connor was the sheriff or warden
Oh,
or
yes.
something. And anyway, we had lights on the top of our truck, and he said, turn off the lights. Well, of course, the director says, keep them on. So Bull Connor says, if you don't turn off the lights, we're going to shoot them out. We turned them off.
Yeah. How about this?
The Hoosier 100, that's a race in Indianapolis. I was TD in that.
And that's when I started working with him. I worked with him. He was my TD,
So the
and I
time
was
when-
very proud of that.
He and Smith, no,
Stormy Cook. Yeah.
Julie, they get off the plane, they're all dressed in their 3-piece suits. They go to the motel and jump in the pool. Then they come to my room and left a trail of water.
Well, no, it started because Stormy said he was a fisherman he used to deep sea dive for abalone.
All right.
I said, Stormy, you are an exaggerator, not exactly those words. So I said, I don't think you can even swim. And he says, oh yeah, I can swim. I said, oh yeah. I said, I'll do anything you do. I can't swim. So Stormy gets up. We were overserved. And
Say the least.
and Stormy gets up and he goes out and he jumps in the pool and the people are screaming at him. So I had told him I'd do everything he could do, so I jumped in the water too. and the people were screaming, and the manager was called. So he said, we better get back. I can't swim. I finally made it to the side. I got out. We went back to Don's room. Don was taking a shower, and the manager knocked on the door. Said, you boys jumping in the pool with clothes on? I said, it was the guy in there that did it. I blamed it on Don. So,
Why
so-
am I not surprised?
So, he said, okay. So I don't know, Don, poor Don, we left, and Don had to deal with the manager. Let's talk a little bit about this one. What is this?
It's on our President Nixon's historic trip to China in 1972. The first Americans have been there since 1949. And we saw the American flag raised at the airport, and they announced the first American flag since 1949. It's quite emotional.
Yes.
Yeah. So we saw Nixon that morning, and there's nobody around. He was with Joe and Lai, and Jody Giovanna was our supervisor there. I'm shooting. I said, Joe, say something. So he said, good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, guys. Nice morning. So that was my conversation with the president.
Yeah. Okay, how about Jane Burns' inauguration, Don? Can you give us a little bit of your recollection of that?
One night we were chasing her and we ran her down because Ed Burke had just called her a liar. And we had to trace her down and see what her reaction was. So we caught up with her and the recorder broke down.
Oh.
And she said, that's okay, I'll wait. I said, but I don't know what you don't know what we're going to say. I don't know if you want to wait or not. And she said, so 15 minutes later, we get on and the reporter says, well, Ed Burke has called you a liar, now what's your reaction? And she took it good-naturedly, and they said, oh, well, it's politics, you know.